Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to do a walkthrough of how I make a cappuccino using my Sage Barista Touch coffee machine. I bought the Barista Touch about 6 months ago just because I absolutely love a coffee in the morning, and before this I had an espresso machine that you put the little pods in and it just wasn't the same quality as going to a coffee shop. I feel like this machine really gives you coffee shop quality coffee without being a professional barista. So the first thing that you need to think about is coffee beans, and I really love the coffee beans from Gail's coffee shop, but you can get coffee beans from anywhere. I have tried ones from the supermarket before and they tasted really terrible, so I would just be careful where you're buying them from and maybe try a few different ones out to see which ones you prefer, because they all taste quite different. They also need to be as fresh as possible, so make sure you check the date on the coffee beans before you buy them. And once you've got your coffee beans, then you just put them in this little grinder at the top of the coffee machine. The machine does come with a double filter basket and also a single filter basket. I normally prefer to use the double filter basket just because I like a really strong coffee. The machine does have this little drawer at the back which is really handy, and you can just put the spare filter baskets or any other little tools and bits in here. So the first thing you need to do is select your drink of choice, and today I'm making a cappuccino. You then just need to change your settings so that they're set up how you like your drink made. And the first thing that you need to think about is the grind. So the grind is a combination of the grind size, which is basically the size that the coffee beans are ground down to, and the time that it takes to grind the coffee beans. So you can change the grind size with this little dial at the side, and you can make the beans ground finer or more coarse. So if you grind them finer, it's going to taste more sour and a little bit more burnt, and if you make it coarser, then it's going to let more water through the beans, so the coffee's going to taste a bit more watery. I like to go somewhere in the middle but closer to finer, just so you can really taste the coffee but it doesn't taste too watery. So as you can see, my grind size is set to 14, and if you move the dial up and down, you can see on here, so I like mine set to 14 for my coffee beans, but it's completely different depending on the type of beans that you use and how old they are as well. So you just need to kind of play around with the settings a little bit, and then if you click here you can change the amount of seconds. So you just touch the screen and the dial up and down. So mine's currently set to 20 seconds, and like I said, this is the amount of time that your beans will be ground. So the longer the time, the more beans that will be ground. You then just need to clip your filter basket into your portafilter. Just make sure before you clip it in, if you've just washed everything, that it's all really dry. You then just need to place your portafilter into the grinder, and if you push back, it will automatically grind. This is how you want the beans to look once they've been ground down in the portafilter. Then just get your tamper, which is attached to the machine here, and press down the beans, making sure to be very gentle and making sure all the beans are even. Then just lock the portafilter into the group head. I bought these massive cappuccino mugs from John Lewis, which I absolutely love. I just feel like buying nice mugs makes such a difference to the coffee and the enjoyment of drinking the coffee. Then just need to set your brew time. So the machine does automatically set up the brew times for you. So at the moment it's set to double because that's what I like. You can also change it to a custom brew time if you want a slightly bigger coffee, or you can also change it to single as well, but like I said, I like the double. And then you literally just press brew, and then it will do everything for you. And once the coffee comes out, looking for it to be a continuous stream of coffee that starts off very dark and then turns into a lighter colour. So once your coffee's done, you want it to be a kind of dark syrupy texture with this crema on the top, which is this foamy bit. My milk of choice is this Oatly oat milk. I absolutely love this one. I've tried so many different barista oat milks and this is definitely my favourite. I just absolutely love the taste of it, and I love how it froths up. So I just pour it in. The machine then just makes it so easy to froth your milk. You don't have to be a professional to do it. You literally just place your pitcher underneath the steam wand and making sure that it's sitting on top of this little sensor here, because that stops the milk from overflowing. And then you literally just press on the milk button and it will do everything for you. I should also say as well, if you are a professional, you can manually froth your milk just by pulling the steam wand out. So this is how my milk is looking. I like to just swirl it around and tap it down on the surface just to get all the bubbles out and make it really light and frothy. And then I just pour it into my cup. And this is my finished cappuccino. I'm not a professional barista, but this is just how I use the machine. I think it's a great machine to learn the basics of making a good coffee without having to be a professional. Just before I end the video, I just wanted to talk about a few pros and cons of the machine that I've found over the past 6 months of using it. Firstly, the pros, I'd say that you really do get coffee shop quality coffee without having to go to the coffee shop or being a professional. It obviously saves a lot of time and money without having to go to the coffee shops, but I wouldn't say it's the cheapest option. It's definitely cost me a lot more than just using the Nespresso pods, but obviously the quality of the coffee is not even comparable. It's also forced me to learn so much about coffee and what goes into making a good coffee and what a good coffee tastes like. Some of the cons, I would say the machine is obviously very, very expensive to buy. When you first buy it, it can be very intimidating to use because obviously it's not as simple as just putting a little pod into the machine and it's spitting out coffee for you. There is a little bit of work that needs to go into making a really good coffee. There are also quite a few extras that you need to buy to maintain the machine. So you'll need to buy cleaning tablets, filter replacements and descaler. You obviously have to buy fresh beans, so if you're not making coffee every day, then this might be a bit of an annoyance to you because you can't just leave coffee beans sitting in your cupboard for months and months on end. They need to be really fresh or they're going to go out of date. I think I've pretty much covered the basics of how to use this machine as someone who's not a professional. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a massive thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.